How am I doing? You know, I'm not going to give my standard. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. But what I will say is that I am very, very grateful and doing well.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Talk to me. What's good with you? What are you excited about?
I'm excited about all of the guests that have already confirmed that they will be attending today, and just everything that's going to be going on over the next 2 days. I feel like we've all kind of come together as a team and really, you know, going to have a great turnout. And I'm just excited for the people that are going to be come in rubbing shoulders and elbows with us and really, experiencing the energy of the entire team. So I'm excited about that. What about you?
Hmm. I'm just as excited for the next 48 hours.
Okay.
Um, however, it's not a however. It's just also, there's another side of my brain that turns on at
Hmm.
these type of events and projects because I'm thinking about execution, right? I'm thinking about logistics. I'm thinking about making sure that we deliver on the promise, right?
Hmm.
Um, for people to participate in what we're doing, the price is very inexpensive. For our guests, it's free, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, but it's very inexpensive. But that's relative
Hmm.
because I know there are some people who, to pay $20 or $30. It's like whatever, I'm gonna sip that much in coffee today, right?
Well, when you're
And then
making an
there are some
investment in
people,
yourself, it's like you can't put a price tag on putting an investment in yourself, you
yeah.
know,
But then
whether
there's all
20 or $200, you know?
Yeah, but then there's also the people where, I mean, look, it is a financial hardship,
Hmm.
right, for them to participate. And so whether it's a financial hardship or not, whether you are accustomed to investing in yourself or whether or not you're not accustomed to it. And so this is going to be your first time actually being willing to set aside the time and take your monies and participate. I'm just thinking about how do we make sure that people come into the event, get what they need, but more importantly, not only are they going to receive information, but there's a reasonable expectation that the whole experience will be transformative for them, right? So, still a lot of planning left. Got to have a couple handouts prepared for individuals and get those produced, and but that's neither here nor there. That's minor, but that's what I'm thinking about. I've been going over the agenda and the itinerary, having sidebar conversations. Um, some adjustments are going to have to be made because some of our speakers are going to be arriving tomorrow as opposed to today, and then their itineraries changed a little bit, but it's all
Okay.
good.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Par
So
for the course.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So those are the things I'm thinking about. Per usual, I'll be more excited once the event is done.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and hearing the feedback and once again, like I said, it's making sure people have a really good experience. So that's what I'm excited about. Um, so what did you have? What are you going to be doing different? What are you looking forward to this summer in general?
I'm looking forward to being more proactive in the things that are actually generating results and putting things that are not generating results to the side and revamping. I'm
Mhm.
also excited about putting some thorns in my side in the garbage with the
Oh
rest
yeah.
of the trash. Um, we've discussed it ad nauseum, some of
Hmm.
the things that you and I are both shackled with and dealing with. And I'm
Mm.
looking forward to I'm just being able to check it off my list and be like, okay, done,
Yeah. Yeah.
deuces. And so that's going to be that's exciting in itself, just thinking about not having to waste energy on as we say, non-income generating activities and non-income generating, people. So yeah, I'm excited about that. And I'm also excited about just like how our organization, we're getting a lot of different kinds of people, and we're very like diversifying the group. I'm super excited about the Wednesday events. I feel like we've definitely taken the world by storm, and like especially this last one where we had like keep adding tables and chairs and um because it's like every time we go there, like I had said to the receptionist, I said, like we come here every week, and it's like every week when we talk to you, it's like the first time that we're like engaging with you. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Like you know that we're coming. Our goal is to be able to fill the entire space. So, here we are. So, yeah, I'm excited about the momentum that we're getting, with the events.
hmm
And some of the business partners that we have, just staying connected with them and encouraging them. Like, even if you're not really active in your business, still letting us be active for you. Like, okay, cool, you don't have the time to do it, you don't have the bandwidth to do it, you're not organized enough to do it, no problem. That's what we're here for. We're working together as a team. So I'm just excited about just everything in general, and it's the summertime, so I'm excited about that because that's like my favorite season. So what about
Okay.
you? What are you excited about?
Mm, wow. You know, if you can't tell, I don't know. I'm very grateful. I feel good about a lot of things that's transpiring. I guess I'm just not super excited because we're not done yet.
Oh, absolutely.
You
Yeah.
know, I'm thinking about this TikTok video. This has been on YouTube, I think, too, as well. But there was an interview they did with Kobe Bryant. And I can't recall what year, but it was, they were ahead in the playoffs. I think they were up like 2-1 or 3-1 in the playoffs on an opponent. And the reporter asked him, are you excited? Are you enthusiastic? Are you, how you feeling? Aren't you feeling good about yourself? And he's like, nope, we're not done yet. It's not done yet. Like, we won, you got the championship, the banner raised. No, okay, it's not done. Right. I think that kind of captures the mood that I'm in right now in general. I know with every level, there are new devils, new challenges,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And I feel good about the fact that I was joking with someone earlier today. I was like, um, we're sexy. We used to talk about all the time, right? We're sexy. But how do we get sexy? You know, um, in other words, how do we get to a point where we are so attractive, the energy is so positive, the success is becoming so apparent that we just begin to attract the type of people we want to have in our ecosystem and in our circle, right?
Yeah.
So I'm paying close attention to the fact that whether it's our evening events or whether it's our luncheons or our monthly events, I'm starting to see a lot of the same faces. And when I say same faces, I'm not talking about the veterans, though I'm appreciative and grateful for the veterans, right? Who are getting it in and who are winning and being productive. I don't want 20 percenters to ever think that they are not at the top of my mind. But I'm
Yeah.
excited to see that you have people who are kicking the tires, taking a look, and evidently they like what they're seeing because they keep coming, right? And they
Absolutely.
they keep acquiring information, they keep making inquiries. Many of them are onboarding as clients, and many of them are onboarding as partners. I'm excited for the new blood that I see where we're starting to get stickiness there, right?
Hmm.
So I feel good about that. And like you said, Wednesday was a perfect example. I think very soon that location, they're going to get the memo. What I'm acutely aware of is you have a lot of starters. You have a lot of people who start stuff, but they don't follow through and finish, right? And I
Hmm.
know that has a lot to do with it because I know there have been so many organizations and groups who said we're going to show up, we're going to be consistent. You don't have to worry about us rain, sleet, or snow. We're going to make it happen. They hear that all the time, you
Of
know.
course. So do
So
we.
yeah, yeah. So I get it, right? I know they are like, but I can tell we are on their radar. Like, while the receptionist may not be fully aware that we're there and showing up, the wait staff is.
Well,
So
I
yeah,
reminded her and let her know and introduce myself so that
yeah.
she would be able
So
to, and I, know her name now too. That way, there'll be that recognition because it's like, come on, girl, let apúrate, get with the program. Like, we need a table, come on
yeah,
now.
yeah.
It's that
So
time.
I'm not concerned about that. Well, that'll take care of itself, and it has been taking care of itself.
Oh, absolutely.
Um, the other thing that I'm thinking about critically, and you kind of touched on it right at the top, distractions, right?
Hmm.
And the thing is, the distractions aren't going anywhere. I mean, once again, at every level, there's going to be new conflicts, new challenges, new ways in which you have to grow. There's going to be new, what's the word I'm looking for? There's going to be turbulence at every
Yes.
level.
Hmm.
Um, and it was interesting. I was having a conversation with an entrepreneur that I've been working with periodically. And it was real random. She came out to Incabizo thinking one type of conversation or interaction was going to happen. I don't even think she knew I was going to be there. And so
Hmm.
we ended up talking, and what we talked about were the distractions, and she's not an anomaly. Many of the business owners and partners that we have, I find myself having a conversation with them frequently about how things may be going, quite frankly, to hell in a handbasket in their personal lives, or maybe going to hell in a handbasket in terms of where they work at. I mean, even when they go to church or just in general, right? Things are happening. And I had to remind her that, it's three things you have to guard against. The first being, it is real easy to let your thoughts be dominated by all the negative things that are going on around you, right? It's easy. We're human beings. We're hot wired for it, right? We're hot wired to search for problems. We're hot wired to search for conflict. We're hot wired to search for threats. And if you're not careful, those things will color your life. It'll become your soundtrack.
Hmm.
And I share with her that, look, even if the current challenges and issues that you're dealing with right now, or that entrepreneurs deal with, trust me, when you quote unquote level up, right? When you get to the point where you're earning six figures consistently, or when you get to the point where you're earning seven figures consistently, the drama, the conflict, the eight figure, six, it don't stop. It just looks different. And I don't ever want to be that person who says, hey, you're always going to be dealing with BS.com, but you're foolhardy to believe that you're going to go through life and challenges aren't going to come up. I don't. I just take the attitude that I plan, I hope for the best, plan for the best, but I anticipate some things are going to happen along the way. Right. That way, I'm not blindsided or caught off guard. Okay, I knew there was going to be some opposition. I knew
Hmm.
there were going to be some hiccups along the way, things I didn't know or understand, or conversations that need to happen with people to make sure folks are in alignment on the same page. Um, and the other conversation I had, and it's something I've been thinking about critically for my own person, it's like, you're going to have these negative thoughts, certain things are going to transpire that don't go exactly to plan. Like, what guardrails are you putting in place? Like, the entrepreneur I spoke with today, I said, when you start and your business gets to a certain point, a lot of the people who are around you are not going to be around you anymore. You got to find people who have good energy. You got to find people who are leveling up. You got to find people who are growing. Like, it's not lonely as you climb or quote unquote get to the top. You just have to make new friends. And I've been thinking about that. The fact that a lot of the networks and people that I deal with and have dealt with over the last several years, um, we're not in each other's spaces anymore. You know,
Hmm.
um, I sat down with a good friend a couple of days ago, and still very much a good friend. And we ended up hanging out somewhere that I have not hung out at in years. And it was all good. You know, I appreciated the opportunity to be around folk. It was a little. I stopped going to places where the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. Just put it that way, right?
Hmm.
Um, and the hairs on the back of my neck were standing up a little bit, but I was like, it's all good. But it was just a reminder that we're doing different things. What we call fun is different. Um, what we do to relax is different. Um, the things I consume, like literally, whether it be food, beverages, music, things are different. Um,
And that's
so
okay. Yeah,
yeah,
and that's okay.
so so that's one of the guardrails. You gotta be taking inventory of whether or not people and their energy and their conversation and what they bring to the table are contributing, or whether or not they're detracting from you, right? You
Hmm.
know, a question I asked a handful of entrepreneurs this past week is, do you have your goals? Do you have your vision? Do you have your affirmations? Like, do you have a clear picture and image in your mind where you want to be a year, 3 years, or 5 years from now? And if you don't have those things in place, um, you're not rooted, you're not grounded. And whenever difficulty transpires or things don't go as planned or somebody upsets you, betrays you, disappoints you, you're going to be blowing like a leaf in the wind. It's like you can't even really set goals. You can try, but if you set goals absent a vision or a destination or absent answering the question about what good looks like, you could be achieving a lot of things and look up 2, 3 years from now, and it will go faster than you think, particularly when you're busy. And you won't be happy with the life you're living. You won't be happy with the circumstances, the color of your life. Yeah, you may have more income, more money, but there's something to be said about being fulfilled and edified too, right? Um, I'm thinking about those things critically as we move forward. Like, I know there's some like critical big changes on the horizon for me personally, including my family over the next 3 to 6 months. And I'm thinking about how do I make sure that as we're progressing and moving forward, we're not distracted. Well, seeing by the distractions. And of course, I'll go back to it again, the whole goal setting piece, like making sure that the goals that I'm setting are in alignment with my vision and objectives and the things that matter most to me. Those are the things I'm looking forward to doing this summer, like taking some time, actually even taking more time for myself. I'm always giving to, and look, I'm not complaining. It's par for the course, but I'm always giving to everyone else around me. Um, whether you like me or not, I still find myself giving. Whether you're intra-organization or inter-organizational or lineal agnostic, I find myself giving to people, of course, my family and those people whom I count as friends. I'm constantly giving. And something I'm going to really be staunch about that I have not done in quite some time is like, look, you can get upset if you want to, but I got to take a week for me. I need a moment to get my head right, to get focused, um, to like take inventory in terms of, do I feel good about what's transpiring? I don't need to always feel happy and ecstatic and be on 10 and, everything is awesome. The world is perfect. You know what I mean?
You're not going to be sitting around singing Kumbaya, holding
Yeah,
hands.
yeah.
Okay.
I don't need that all the time, but I do need to be able to sit still for a moment and do the things I need to do to edify and feed myself. So I'm definitely that's going to be something I'm doing differently moving forward. And this summer, I'm definitely going to take time to do that.
I mean, I think it's important to take time for yourself anyways, just because if you're always like constantly in go mode, you really can't reflect on the areas where it's like, okay, I'm doing good here, but I need to improve in here, 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 and here. Or like if you're studying certain things, like let's say you're reading some books for personal growth and personal edification, how can you really apply what you're learning if you're not taking the time to reflect? Like, okay, this is something I learned from this particular tool. Now, how do I implement it in what it is I'm doing? So you have to take that time, and you've spoken very candidly about the fact that if you anybody who wants to level up, you have to be change is hard and it requires a certain type of mindset. You have to be willing to take yourself out of the environments where you're comfortable and put yourself in other environments where maybe you're not so comfortable. So you can level up. So I
Yeah,
think that's part of the process, being in an environment where it's like, okay, everybody else is at, certain level, perceived certain level, okay, perceived. Um, yeah. Drop that little lug right there.
oh
Um,
man.
a perceived certain level, right? And then you're going in these rooms and you're like, okay, I want to be rubbing shoulders and elbows with these people. I want to know what they know. That's normal. That's part of the growth process. You want to constantly be making yourself level up and putting yourself in rooms where it's like, okay, I'm here to learn. I'm taking notes. I'm, exchanging information with people. I'm trying to engage with people.
Hmm.
That's what I'm here to do, and that's part of the process. If you're
Yeah,
an entrepreneur and you are trying to level up, that's part of it.
yeah, yeah. It's funny. I was listening to some podcast, and he was comparing the stock market to beer.
Hmm.
Right. So pour a glass of beer. You have the beer itself, and then you have the foamy part. What is that called? The head. Right.
Hmm.
You have the
Yeah.
head. And oftentimes, when you pour the glass is the glass is transparent, so you can see how much beer in there is in there, and you can see how much head is in there, right? But if you were to pour that same bottle of beer inside of a cup or a container, um, it's not transparent. It's still the same beer. It's still the same head, but you can't tell the difference,
Hmm.
right? Because you can't see it. And,
Right.
and both will weigh the same, right?
Hmm.
It weighs the same. Entrepreneurship is a lot like that. Like it's interesting. A lot of times people will think you're down when you're not, particularly if you're smart. Because just because you're winning doesn't mean you need to go out there and advertise to the whole world that you're winning.
Matter of
Um,
fact, you shouldn't advertise
no, no,
that you're
you want to stay as
low
small as
key,
long as you can
under the
until
radar.
you can no long until your success is so apparent that you know
Right. It's just
the
apparent.
is yeah it's awareness.
Hmm.
On the other hand, there are going to be moments as an entrepreneur where everybody's looking at the head,
Hmm.
right? Everybody's looking at the head, and you are going to be in a situation where because people see certain things, whether it be your circle growing, um, people assume that because you have a certain type of momentum or action taking place around you, that you have more means than you should, especially now with the internet, right? Because if you're having a little bit of success, you can use AI, you can utilize online digital marketing to make yourself look way bigger. than you actually are, right? And
Mhm.
people will see those things and just assume it's like, all right, he or she's up, you know. And then it's not that you change, people's expectations change,
Right.
right? People's expectations change. Um, People take liberties they shouldn't take. They assume you're going to be willing to or able to do things um, that they normally wouldn't ask you to do or assume responsibility for. Um, People are more inclined to take you for granted
Hmm.
because, and it's like the assumption that it's all good. You up, you winning. Um, I got a text message from a friend of mine this morning is very similar, right? And it was a reminder to check in on people because while you think they're up, they could be going through some BS.com. They could be going through some real um, traumatic stuff going on in their lives, and because we're trained, we have to be, particularly if you're an entrepreneur and a leader, not to wear your emotions all the time and not to wear the drama and trauma. That's not attractive, not to the people you want to work with, to lead that. Um, Still got to check in on them, make sure they're okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think as the organization continues to grow and as we continue to prosper, um, something I'm going to be thinking a lot about is that whole personal development, professional development piece, not just for the sake of knowledge in and of itself, but I think people underestimate just how important it is to to build yourself up. You know,
Hmm.
it's usually the entrepreneurs that are not necessarily the most intelligent, brightest, most talented, and all of those things are important. Usually, it's the entrepreneur that just can last longer than everybody else. You know,
The
that
person
has
with the stamina.
yeah
Yep.
the ability to persevere, the
Hmm.
ability to say
Pivot.
yes and show up even when you don't feel like it, and even when things aren't convenient.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. You know, it was funny. I
Yeah.
was
The entrepreneur who can pivot is like, to me, that's like the sign of success is being able to have longevity as an entrepreneur and just as a business owner. Like
Mhm.
if you have multiple businesses that you're doing, and let's say, and we've discussed it, like one business kind of falling off or something changing, and then you have to pivot and maybe switch up what you're doing and go in a different direction. That's very important.
Yeah, it's part of it too.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Don't. I ain't about to talk about it yet. Maybe with a handful of individuals, but there's some pivots on the horizon. I'm taking close inventory in terms of um, what's the best use of my talent and time,
Hmm.
and and how I can make the ground more fertile for the individuals I'm working with around me.
Hmm.
But there's a project I'm going to start working on in about 3 to 6 months as well to help out with that. Um, so, and like anything else, it's going to be a huge outlay at first. Um, it's the typical stuff. In the beginning, you do a lot of work you don't get paid for. So later on, you get compensated for work you no longer have to do. But I'm
Hmm.
here for it. I'm here for it. Oh man, yeah. I'm curious to know. That is one of the questions I'm going to ask actually tonight. I'm gonna lead off with a couple questions. I need to get some index cards. I need to get some index cards to give people in the audience questions to write down. We got to weed out people asking like questions that really isn't going to serve the audience while they're there. Because I know we're going to have people show up who just really aren't acquainted with what we do. They don't know anything about a value prop business model, nothing. And it's like, okay, We're not here to give some type of presentation about our products and service. That's not what tonight's about. Come
Right.
tomorrow if you want more of that.
Yeah.
But that is one of the questions I'm going to ask, because I know all of them have gone through it where you're in a situation where it's like that beer, right? Um, had someone crack me up earlier this week. There's a lot of people think things are something that they're not. But she's basically like, so how you paying for all of this? I was like, what do you mean? She's like, how you paying for all of this? Who's sponsoring you? Corporate sponsoring you is. Do you have, this organization or that organization? And I was like, nah, it's out of pocket, dear heart. This is an investment. This is a risk. Um, this is what it looks like sometimes. She's like, why would you do that? And I was like, because when you come to the table and you don't have a bag, you get dictated to.
Absolutely.
You get dictated to. I was like, I need people to know I'm not coming to the table empty handed, right? Um, there's some consequence behind this. So there's some consequence and there's a little bit of power. I'll say I'm gonna leave it at that. But I've been thinking about this a long time, and it's time to let folks know that we here. We here.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm really excited for you though. Your folks are gonna turn out tonight. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
Nikki is just referring me to somebody else, so she's slowly but surely getting momentum and traction too. I'm
Hmm.
gonna harass her a little bit right quick to see if I can influence her.
That's what I've been doing.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
as we're talking to like encourage her to um show up. Yeah. So, there's a million things going on in everybody's lives and a million reasons not to show up. But, that's when you have to make that investment in yourself and show up, you
There's a
know.
million reasons to show up too.
Oh, I agree. I agree. Because life be life and for everybody. So, all of my business partners, I've been like, no reason for you. Even people who I've invited a million times, and that are, like my personal friends, I'm like, well, you need to come out and support me.
Yep.
Period. I don't care. Like, catch the bus. I don't care. You need to show up. I'm so serious. I'm so serious. I'm like, I mean, you ain't doing nothing, so might as well. I mean, like we're gonna have wine too, I mean, so come on
That's
now.
funny.
I'm serious. Like, okay, we're gonna have food, we're gonna have wine. You can show up. We're not gonna have any $2 beers, but you can get some wine.
That's funny.
Yeah, get you a cold glass of wine, ma'am or sir.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
I'm for real. You I said it like that too.
I know you did.
So
Oh, that's funny. That
yeah,
is funny.
they're funny. Every week you got a different excuse. No, get it in gear and show up. So
Yeah,
no excuse.
you can't
Yeah,
make excuses and win at the same time.
exactly. Especially if you say you want to do this and you want to do that and blah blah blah. Okay, well, come on. This is the perfect room for you to be in. Jump start everything. The energy will be there. You just got to show up.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like I think that's part of the reason why a lot of people come up short in business. Um, there's this prevailing, I'm going to do just enough. And I think the most difficult thing for people to wrap their minds around if you're going to be successful as an entrepreneur is just enough is not enough.
I agree.
you have to do more than you have to do so much that your failures that your success is inevitable. I think people underestimate what that means,
I
right?
do too. I do too. I've done it. I feel like I'm guilty of doing it. And certain businesses, like where
Mhm.
you're used to like really just like being like, bam, always on in a certain business that you're doing, like you forget that when you start a new business, you'd be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? No, I got to bring that same energy that I brought to those other businesses when I was getting it off the ground and literally getting it up out the mud, as we say.
Mhm.
You got to bring that same energy. And if you're not, then don't be upset that you're not getting the desired results.
Yeah,
That's what is hard to remember. But through repetition and through having good quality mentors and people reminding you of that, it's like, okay, you got something there. And
yeah.
having a mentor who leads by example. That's what they're doing. If you got a mentor, because it's nothing worse than like having somebody telling you something and they're not even implementing what they're doing. Like what like no, that's not making the cut. That's like next, like white noise.
Yep.
Um, but if it's somebody who like, look, they're in the trenches with you, they're rubbing shoulders and elbows with you, and they're like, hey, this is what I'm doing. I'm doing X, Y, and Z. And they're showing you through their actions and their results that this is what they're doing. They're doing so much activity that it's impossible for them to fail. You're like, okay, that's the blueprint right there. That's the blueprint, you know.
I agree.
Yeah. So, and that's one good thing about our organization is the leadership leads by example.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
yeah. And that counts.
Yeah, it does. You
Yeah,
can't leave.
it carries weight. It's not about your words and oh, get it this and that. The words mean nothing if there's no action behind it
Yeah,
and no
yeah.
social evidence. Like, okay, this is what this person is doing, and here goes the evidence. Okay, bam, that makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I agree. A lot of pretenders out here, a lot of cosplayers.
yeah, pump fake, yeah, pump fakers, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
PBSers.
I just be looking at them like, all right, that's what we
Like,
doing.
okay, yeah, okay. Like it's like, okay, yeah, you're right. Next.
Uh, that's what we're doing.
Hmm.
Oh man. Um, yeah, I'm thinking about that conversation I had with Chico this morning. It was very emotional. I had to say some really tough things to this person. And
Sometimes you need that tough love, though. You
yeah.
need to be chastised. All of us do. You need, and you've said it, and you've had mentors who chastised you and
Mhm.
checked you in a way where you like, remember it to this day. Like, it was painful but necessary for where you were at that time. It's
Yeah,
necessary sometimes.
yeah, yeah. I didn't know her that well though. Usually I know someone for a little while. I had to ask her permission.
Hmm.
Uh, and you can always tell, like, you know, I said what I said because I could tell she was getting direction from people who weren't about nothing,
Hmm.
right? One of this thing that drives me crazy, but I hear people say, well, in order to have success, you got to make sure things are balanced here and this, that, and the other, especially in the beginning. And I just looked at her and I was like, I want you to share with me one entrepreneur that has success that you want. Like if you showed up as your best self and your best laid plans came true, you show me one entrepreneur who did not have a season where there was no balance. Show me one, and you're not going to find them, right?
But they don't exist.
No, they don't exist. It's so entertaining when I hear people. Well, it's not entertaining. Well, yeah, it is entertaining, but it's not entertaining when it comes to the people I end up working with because I don't want to see them come up short. But it's like I have to tell her, no, there's no balance for you right now. It's all pain. It's all pain. Like you're going to be working longer hours than you ever have, ever. So you're going to get off work from your job and you're going to work another 6 hours. You're going to. That's part of the course. It's going to happen. You have to do it. You're going to have some tough conversations with your family and with your children. Like for a moment, mom, or for the dads listening in, you got to have a tough conversation with the children. Look, for this
Or if you
season,
have a
I'm not going to
spouse or
be.
a
Yeah,
partner too. Yeah, your
yeah,
partner.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to have to accept the fact that I'm not going to be as accessible for a little while, or these dance lessons or piano lessons, whatever the case may be. One or two things are going to happen. Either they're not going to happen as frequently, or I might not be present all the time. But I have to make this sacrifice because there's no way in the world we can make the type of progress we want to make, and there not be turbulence. It's just par for the course. I had to tell her that. I was like, whoever was chatting with you, like, either is one or two things. Either they haven't achieved anything, or my favorite, because I see this a lot, where there are entrepreneurs that are very successful and then they start talking that stuff. But I'm
Hmm.
like, but they're already on the other side of the fence. They've already built businesses that are paying them millions of dollars, or in some cases with people we see online who've already built billion-dollar enterprises. Of course, they can kick their feet up. Of course, they can coast. Of course, they can relax. Of course, now they've paid the price to have the balance that they want in their lives.
Hmm.
But trust me, in their ugly duckling stage, it was not like that. Like everybody's trying to avoid the ugly duckling stage. No, that is the stage of your business that forms you, that shapes you, that creates the success that you enjoy. A year, 2, 3, 5 years, whatever the case may be down the line. It was fascinating.
Do you think that it was well received?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
oh yeah, yeah. She took it. I mean, the one thing I
When you
can
know better,
say,
you do better. So I
yeah,
think, the proof will be in whether it's the lesson is applied.
yeah,
Hmm.
but it was well received.
Good.
I mean, to an extent, she's kind of, while we never been close, she's kind of watched me from afar.
Okay.
Like she saw me when I first started showing up in certain spaces, and she saw the elevation. Like she saw what I did to build credibility, to take on clients on a consistent basis. She's seen the receipts, the people that
Hmm.
I've worked with, and the success they've had as a result. So I think that's part of the reason why it was more readily accepted as well.
Hmm.
She already knew.